What the hell is the... Hang on.
Sound it out.
Funebrarver.
Aren't you from a good ISD? Didn't you graduate from...
What does that say?
Funebrarum.
Of course.
Of course.
Funebrarum.
Plain as
I
the
knew
letters
that.
on my chest.
Okay, now here's a shirt you can read. How about that?
Okay.
Can you read
you
that?
You and your metal church and Siege and whatever.
Shout out to the great Mark Fields from Siege on the final Siege tour.
Yeah, right. Like Kiss, the Final Kiss tour from '99.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, right?
Well, and I would have worn the Monarch shirt because they just played Vakken on the History stage.
Yes, they did.
Was that Thursday?
I think so.
At 7, well, it was noon our time here in Texas. But they shredded it up, made some friends, and then some of those guys went to play with the Three Tenors in Spain. So
if I can get you to stop talking, I'll go home and watch some more of the feed tonight.
oh my gosh! Does nobody have a?
Well, I haven't seen you in a while.
A DVD?
So.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, excuse me,
So
guys. You know where the bathroom is?
Oh,
What?
wow.
What?
Hey.
Oh,
Hello, man.
What are you guys here
What's
for?
going on here?
Oh, hey.
So people are storming the set. Oh my gosh.
It's a siege on Casa de Carcass.
Do you know these guys?
I know these guys.
Well, enlighten us.
Well, they drove up from Austin. This is T.J. Lewis and Fast Eddie.
Fast Eddie.
Fast
Kono
Eddie.
Passing.
Kona Passing
Fast Eddie's good.
from Forebode.
Yes.
They're a heavy music band. I got caught wind of these guys when they were at the Bruce Corbett tribute, or Eddie was.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
Fast Eddie is really into War Beast for whatever reason. I think he's just in it for the art because the art looks so cool.
I think ours looks pretty
Not
cool.
because the band is great.
No, the
Yeah.
band is just okay. It's the
It's
artwork that's
It's all
really
about
cool.
that jackass artist.
Yeah, it is about that guy. But so anyway, we got to talking, and he said, "Well, our band is playing next week," and I said, "I'll be there with bells on," and I even brought the bells, and they killed it. So now I can't wait to
You
see
came
him.
with Shelby's too.
And I came with the Shelbys. He made a promise to
a
them
big
that he'd
deal
show
for me.
up, and so shout out to Scott, and so I just any chance I get to see him, if it works in my schedule, I want to go. So I drove to Houston.
Album release week.
Album release week, and they were doing gigs with Crusher, and that night Tangulum, a new band that has members of Cryptic Void, War Master, PLF, and Insect Warfare. Man, it was brutal.
Heavy.
I told
So
Poser.
the Poser loved it.
The Poser loved it. Well, I think because it had a girl in the band. But anyway, I told him that they sounded like Bang Tango, so he got really excited. So once
that's our go-to hair band.
So shout out to Tantalum. In fact, the interesting thing about them is they had played shows, like a dozen shows in Houston and vicinity, never played anything out of town, and their first out-of-town gig was
Copenhagen, right?
Was extreme.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Oh,
the
Czech
extreme
Republic.
obscene
Extreme.
deal.
Yeah.
So man, what a way to kick off your worldwide exposure. And
Yeah.
I think we're playing with them again, actually,
Yeah,
in
we are.
October. Again.
Oh yeah, the Orange Flyer. For
Yeah,
Halloween.
It's a Halloween
Yeah.
show.
Oh, good grief.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Road trip.
That's
Crusher.
awesome. Yeah.
Tantalum.
Yeah, we're going to do a Taylor Swift set for Halloween.
There you go.
Yes. Now that
Only if
I'm
you dress up like Taylor Swift.
Yes,
Oh, really? I'll
please
be
do
there
that.
for sure.
Yes.
Of course,
yes.
Mark
I won't
might,
be
Poser
there.
Mark might be there for sure too.
Yeah, he will.
Yes. Well,
Anyway.
obviously, we have been stormed by the guys from Forebode.
Refuse to leave.
We love it. Yes, please never leave. This episode is going to last for hours,
On end.
if not minutes. So we want to thank these guys for stopping by. I checked out the EP yesterday. Brand new. When did it come out?
June 16th.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yes,
pretty
yeah,
new.
just a
Yeah.
few weeks old.
Yeah.
I dig it. I'll give you my take on it. Carcass turned me on to a band a couple years ago called Turbid North.
Oh, yeah.
And here's what I dig about what you guys are doing. And for you guys out there, these dudes are doing a stoner kind of deathy kind of, I mean, it's between the ditches. It makes sense, but I like the way that it moves around, man. And the thing that reminded me of Turbid North was I'm listening to this killer, heavy, doomy stoner rock, and then just
Oh, yeah.
comes out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this makes me think of Turbid North. And then you know, there will be something really melodic and musical going on, and then you just get hit over the head. So I really dig it a lot, and I was jamming it on YouTube yesterday, and then on the way down here to get familiar. And the live demo is quite good as well.
Thanks.
That was really early for us too. The live
It's
demo was
good.
shortly after we.
It's
formed.
good, man.
I mean,
it's good.
that song Metal Slug that's on there, like we wrote that the first day Eddie practiced.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
wow.
And then we recorded it like 2 months later as a
Sweet.
fresh song. So.
Well, give us just a quick, give us a quick history of the band, and then we'll get into whatever else you guys want to talk about.
Yes. So it started with actually me and Guillermo, our bass player. We started it in like September of 2017 with a then guitar player named Jack and our friend Ryan. So they were the first. That was the first group of 4, and then lots of shit happens. You know, we
In a band? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Lineup changes?
yeah.
Metallica joins us now.
Welcome.
Go ahead.
No, that's okay. We ended up losing our drummer Ryan. We brought in another drummer named Landon. Landon and Jack couldn't really figure out a way to work together, so Landon quit and then Jack quit. So then we were, you know, on our ass. We're like,
Right.
is anything ever going to happen? It's the very beginning of 2018.
Yeah.
So we put out an ad on Craigslist. Actually, the story with Eddie starts before Craigslist because we ended up, me and Guillermo, meeting Eddie at the Lost Well at a Conan show.
Okay.
Yeah. We were all wearing I Hate
to
God
him.
shirts.
Yeah. he wouldn't leave us alone, so we just kept talking to him.
Well, they told me about a show coming up on, it was 420,
Yeah.
and I put it in my calendar. I was like, oh, Forebode at Beerland, 420. It was before the band split.
That was gonna be our first show. It was 420, 2018, and then the whole thing collapsed. So then we had to drop off that show. We meet Eddie at Conan, whatever. We haven't seen him again since the Conan show. We put out a Craigslist ad, and then it happens to be Eddie who answers the.
Yeah, I saw Guillermo
Craigslist.
posted. I was like, wait, I thought I was going to see you guys. You don't have a guitar player?
Yeah.
I dig it. I'll play.
Yeah.
So we sent him because we didn't have the demo out yet or anything. We just sent him, you know, practice YouTube videos. Him and Zach, our new drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And first practice, they came in and knew all the songs.
Wow.
And then we wrote Metal Slug the same practice.
That's awesome.
And it's just been in 5th gear ever since.
That's awesome. I've been to Beerland once, as a side note, and I saw Satan, Militia, and oh my gosh, Sean Weingartner's gonna kill me. They're from Austin. Something Warrior, maybe? I can't think of it.
Eternal Champion, maybe?
Eternal Champion, that's
Ooh.
it. Yes,
Eternal
yes,
Champion.
yes. I'm sorry,
We were just talking
Warrior
about them on the way up.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Eternal Champion is the vocalist of Iron Age from Austin, which is like a crossover hardcore band.
Okay.
Who's been around forever. They used to play in Houston a lot and stuff, but they started Eternal Champion with the guitar player of Power Trip, Blake Ibanez.
Oh, okay,
So they
okay.
fucking they rip.
Man, you guys are all knowing each other and
See, that's the weird
We
thing
nerd
about
out hard.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the weird, that's the crazy thing about music is I meet people all the time, and in fact I was talking to a project manager because I have a regular job because music doesn't pay the bills in my house. But
Yes.
to think about, we were at the same show, standing nearly in the same spot, 30 years ago.
Yep.
But yet we didn't know each other then. But then circle back around, and somehow music makes that connection. So very strange. Kind of like the warp.
Well,
I didn't see this guy play, and that's usually how I discover new bands. Is I just stick around. I get there early. I stick around late.
Yeah.
And bam, that's how I discovered a million bands. Amora Side, Dead Rising, Turbid North, Wofat, Black on High, Pothead Goat, all these bands.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't even playing, but he was just into Warbeast and just happened to be there. And just in the course matter of talking about it, there I get to discover a new band.
Yeah.
Well, I was thrilled to meet you at that because shout out to Nelson, Justin, and Eric. Me and Nelson were enormous Warbeast fans, and I have the records on vinyl, and I just stare at the album cover the whole time when I'm listening to it. And we knew Carcass John was the artist, but we didn't know who Carcass John was. Like, we didn't I just
Does
knew,
anybody
there's just this,
really
it's probably
Does anybody really know who he is?
I feel like I'm getting to know him. But there was a time where we were just like, it was just this person like who makes cool art, and I just remember all the stuff was like so cool. And when I saw the poster, me and my buddy went up and we're like, whoa, the new BCAD.
Mm-hmm.
Check out the BCAD package.
Yes.
It's incredible. The art is so cool, and it's a combination of the first two, or the first and last War Beast
Correct.
things, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just gawking at it, and he came over and was like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm Carcass John," and we both looked at each other like, "That's really him. That's the guy who makes those cool album covers." So it was like a cool moment for me to be like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan of his art. Like, this is really cool." So it was nice that music could bring the visual art piece and the sonic art piece together too, which I was really excited about that because the album covers are a big deal for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I remember being a teenager in my room looking at Iron Maiden albums and just holding the gatefold of Live After Death open and just pouring over the artwork and the pictures. But similar way how we met was I was in Born Late. We were just talking about Born Late Records downstairs.
Shout out to Born Late.
And he's up front checking out with John. I think you were talking to JP.
Yep.
And I'm in the back, and I overhear him saying something about my cassette deck's in the shop, and I'm down a cassette deck. And I'm just back in the back. I ain't even see him.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm flipping through records. I got a cassette deck I'll give you. Where do you live? And then 32 episodes later,
Here we
I
are.
love it.
boom,
I
here
love
we
it.
are.
So-
Yeah. Just a big metal brotherhood,
Yeah,
man.
it's very cool.
Doesn't matter if you like Rat or
I'm down with
Siege
Warren G. Martini.
or what. Okay.
See?
He's next.
I was gonna
Hang-
say when I walked in, like, what does this one say? Not this. This is too easy to read.
Yeah.
DJ was dying. He heard you
I
grilling.
think the first letter is an M.
Frozen Soul.
Boom.
Oh. Hey.
Frozen Soul is a brand new death metal band from Fort Worth. who-
Dude, they are
Fuck.
freaking awesome. I
Right
saw
in your own
them. I saw them
backyard.
with Blood Incantation.
I wouldn't. I couldn't
And,
have picked that out
who's
of a
the
lineup.
band? Who's the band from Oakland that was selling their CDs for $20 a piece at the 3 Link show?
I probably walked right past it when I saw $20. I don't know.
Anyway,
No, you don't. You're a
because that's what they sell them for in
I bought it.
California.
You bought
But
it.
we're in
Two
Texas.
of them.
I'm a merch freak too, man.
Yeah.
I buy
I
everything.
think we have that in common.
Yeah, Frozen Soul. They're a little bolt throwerish,
Yeah.
but that's that's okay. In fact, I heard someone say that when they heard Monarch play, they said, "Oh, that sounds like early Creator." I would have gone,
Fantastic.
Success!
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
but yeah, they're freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you mentioned something earlier that you wanted to talk about music therapy or
Well, I thought it would be cool, because
Yeah,
I watched
tell
the
us
show.
about
I'm a regular viewer of the Metal Roundtable.
Thank you, by the way.
And I do, and I
We
enjoy
appreciate
the back and forth, and I think it's cool to think about some of the value of some of the stuff that sometimes you guys diss, or like sometimes you disagree with. I know Mr. Carcass is hard set in his ways. Mr. Rob
Sure.
also maybe a little hard set in his ways. And I think it's kind of fun to see the value of music that you don't always, immediately appreciate.
Yeah.
And I was just going to share just an example of something I thought was kind of cool to contribute to the roundtable.
Please do.
share away.
But what I do for work is I'm a clinical music therapist, and I work mostly with a wide variety of populations, but a lot of people with special needs on the autism spectrum, Down syndrome. One of my specialties is the visually impaired population.
Mhm.
And music is what we use as one of the drivers, one of the tools to reach the non-music goals of whatever they're trying to do. If it's communication, working on speech or social skills, a lot of times it's gross or fine motor movement skills, emotional behavior regulation. There's a lot of things that we do, and music just happens to be that great relatable vehicle that we can use to often get there.
Yeah.
What that means for me is my favorite music is not often brought up in the room. I think you guys got a little taste of what I'm interested in, but it's not usually Justin Bieber or Katy Perry or some of this really popular, super influential pop music that I have to listen to every single day.
Mhm.
100 times a day, 7 days a week.
Well, tell us about a
crazy.
connection that you've made with some kid. Give us a
yeah.
breakthrough moment. Tell us a story about something like that.
Well, I did start this program for two of the guys that I work with because music isn't often the education. It's not about like learning an instrument with what we do, but sometimes I'll do clinical music lessons where we do the guitar lesson to distract from the fact that I'm trying to count how many times he says a 5-word utterance or like,
Okay.
it's something he's motivated to do, and it's like a structure that we can use to
Right.
focus. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the opportunity to socialize. And I realized that the one-to-one relationship was very, very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could bring another person in or make it more of like a simulated group experience, it could be even more valuable, maybe even for another client. So I found two clients who I worked with who both played instruments as part of their therapy, and one of them is a drummer and one of them is a guitar player. So I thought maybe I'll start a band with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the coolest thing I've ever taken part of because they've made so much progress individually, but I brought them in a band. We called it Rock and Roll Music Therapy at Center for Music Therapy. And I mean, these are people who, if it was up to them, they wouldn't look at each other. Every day would be exactly the same. They wouldn't interact with anybody.
Right.
And when you're in a band, you have to pay attention to the other people you're with, or else it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And these are highly musical people, so we're playing, and one guy's playing one thing, and the other guy's playing another thing, and they're not looking at each other, and they're wondering why it's not working. And they had that epiphany at the same time. They're like, we have to look at each other, or else we're never going to play the same notes. We're never going to have the same hits. And I'm there to facilitate it, and we've been doing it for about 7 or 8 times now. We do it twice a year, and I've been backing out more and more and letting them kind of lead the band.
That's awesome.
And also we've had some, I've been trying to bridge it with the live music community a little bit. And I've been, I'm the music therapy guy in Austin, talking to all these metalheads, and Bobby Landgraf from Down and Honky, and JD Pincus from Melvins and Honky and Butthole Surfers and all these bands. They were like, how do we become a part of that? Like, can we check it out? Because we were playing songs by Honky. These guys were into like doing local like rock and roll stuff. So these guys, Bobby Landgraf came to one of our shows, one of our performances, and he was like, can I play with you guys? And I'm like, oh, like, this is a big deal for me.
Yeah.
He joined in, played along with us. He was the coolest guy. And then the next program, we set up like a workshop where him and Pincus both came together, and they did like a master class with us, and they were showing us different rhythms, and we were like asking them questions about recording, and it was forcing all of this social stuff that was just so valuable for these guys. And I see their parents cry in the audience, and
what kind of age group are we talking about?
these guys in my band are in their 20s.
Okay.
But I work with people who are as young as 6 months old and as old as over 100. So
wow. Okay.
it's different. Everything's totally customized. But the thing that I thought could be of value for the Metal Roundtable is seeing the value in certain music. One of these guys in the band loves Jimmy Buffett. It's like one of his favorite things. And the other guy, one of his favorite artists, is NSYNC.
Right.
And those guys like don't usually, they don't. There's not a lot of middle ground there. So we had to figure out a way to compromise. Like, we can start with a Jimmy Buffett song. We can do an NSYNC song, and that kind of thing. And the whole time I'm thinking like, I don't really like either of those. But I'm seeing these guys like love it so much, and how valuable and how like expressive it helps them be, that I'm like, there is value to this, even beyond the commercial value or whatever.
And the important thing is support, and I'll give an example. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I tried to raise my kids on Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Megadeth and Pantera and Slayer, and my oldest son is a rapper now, and I was like, oh man, how am I gonna? But then you go to the show and you see him, and you see how into it he is, and he's a badass at it. I had no idea, and he's really good. So I'm gonna hop on board and help him with that. So I'm proud of that. But man, you just never know what's gonna reach someone else. I think that's That's important what you're doing.
And I think
that's really cool.
Thank you. I think rap and metal are both also misunderstood for how clinically valuable they can be too.
They're mysteriously close harmonically and ethically, as far as it's kind of an unaccepted thing, genre of music,
cultural outcast,
and guys that play metal or do hip hop or rap, the true guys, usually are really super hard workers. They merch out of their trunk of their cars. They're doing anything to push their product because it's not something that's readily out there.
That's
well,
true.
I
It's
threw
super
out a
underground.
lot of, like you were saying, we can be dismissive of each other, and for he and I, it's usually just
I know it's
be
friendship,
stupid.
right?
Yeah. We're just kicking each other in the junk, but I threw out all the rap and all the hip hop. I just tossed that aside. But when I started listening to what my son was saying, and I've heard some of the songs by some of the guys that he's into, these guys have something to say.
Yes.
They really have
That's
something important
Yeah.
to say. And I was mastering a project this morning that I won't say who it is, but it's kind of a metal, hip hop, rap, fusion sort of a thing that's coming out soon. But I was really paying attention to what the guy had to say, and it was obvious what was important to him in his life. It was obvious what he had been through and what he had struggled with. So there again, coming back to what you're talking
and it's
about,
healthy to release
there's
that.
so many gaps you can bridge with the words, the music, guys playing together, the social aspect.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing work. What you're doing.
I came into the
I'm proud
metal.
to know that.
I came into the metal scene on the more of the punk side, and I used to sponsor a new wave punk night at a local hubble over where I went to school, and that was really, really out there because where I went to school was extremely conservative.
Right.
So to put my hair in a mohawk and wear tattered jeans with clothespins what do they call safety pins everywhere. It was
Clothespin. You should start that.
I should start that.
Right on-
but anyway, the fact of the matter is after
Weird flex, but okay.
after a night of that, after thrashing around and bounce dancing and crashing into people, man, there was some therapy there, and it wasn't just the music; it was the physical activity of actually being there. And so that's I guess that's the one thing I love about the metal thing is that there's participation, there's activity, there's you're fist pumping, you're banging your head, you're running into but it's a friendly fight. It is. You're getting out that aggression. You're not keeping it all bottled up inside.
It's cathartic. I mean, you're releasing.
And I had a hip hop son too. So and he was really, really good at it. And I mean, to me, if it's good, it's good. If it's and don't mandate that I have to like anything.
No.
And because, as you well know, you can go down to the CD room, or even here in the record room.
Did you hear that? The CD room.
You can find
the music,
a little bit of everything. I mean, one of my favorite things is Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. Now, come on.
Right.
And we all have that. We all have that thing, and that's what's cool about personal preference and subjectivity of like, I like this. It doesn't mean that
the toy box for me. The craziest pop dance. I love it. I play it 100
I know TJ's into hip hop, and coming from a black metal guy who loves the growling death metal vocals, for him to freestyle in a hip hop fashion is just it boggles my mind. But I can see how he would like something like that, and a lot of
talent is talent.
Right. And a lot of metal guys love Depeche Mode, and they love hip-hop, and they love that type of metal, that type of music, because there's a certain cadence, a certain pentameter that all kind of works the same. But anyway, to our point, preference is really not the issue. It's acceptance of someone's preference.
Absolutely.
And so I can't tell you, Eddie, you're an idiot for listening to War Piece.
Yeah.
I can tell you that, but it would not be right of me to do that.
That would make you dumb.
Yeah, right. Even if I didn't, Frozen Soul is the greatest band ever, so everyone should listen to it. No, not everyone should listen to it. You should give it a chance if you want.
Right.
But if you don't want to,
but you should respect the fact that he likes it. And
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like it.
So
hey, you can bag on Eminem all you want, but go flow like that.
Yeah,
Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Let's see you do it.
Well, that-
You know,
actually,
I admit,
you probably can.
No, actually,
Mad hype.
I don't want that to be on record because I get, at the parties and stuff, whatever.
Because there was gonna go.
on the stage at the show, I'm not trying to have, hey, freestyle for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm up here singing about like death and demons and shit. I don't want to freestyle.
Right,
I'm gonna freestyle that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
TJ has a pretty interesting background. I mean, you played in school band, and you played
Yeah.
in punk bands, metal bands,
I played
hip
I
hop.
played the tuba,
Okay.
punk rock tuba, man.
That is about as
And
metal
I
as
was-
it gets right
I was
there.
alto sax and bari sax.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
was really into playing tuba in middle school and high school, but yeah, I got really into black metal and then ended up playing like in a metalcore band instead, and then I played in a pop punk band,
Mm-hmm.
and then Forebode.
Yeah.
And one thing
so-
I appreciate about TJ, and I think if you think about it, you can maybe pick up on it. At least with our newest material, which I'm so excited to share with you, but
Oh yeah.
it's good. I'm really proud of the new music we're making,
That's
but we don't have to worry about rhythmic cadences and flow because TJ just has a good understanding across genre of like
Right.
what fits well with other rhythmic things that are happening.
Right.
We don't have to be like, okay, TJ, try this. Like he's
Yeah.
he just comes up
I
with
mean,
this
like,
great stuff that
Even in the newer stuff we're writing, like if I have a cadence already picked out for any
Mhm.
song that we're writing in my head, I'm gonna do it at practice,
Mhm.
and then if it bothers me enough to like my cadence doesn't match the cadence of the music, I'm like, fuck this. We're changing
he
the
changed
cadence
the
of the
time
music.
signature on
Yeah.
the song to fit the cadencing.
Right.
And it's so cool. Like,
That's
it
awesome.
Totally
It's
works.
just something little,
It's like what the Beatles did with the like Here Comes the Sun. They just try to. It doesn't make any sense like written out, but like they're like it has to flow with what's happening vocally. So let's just jam it in here and do it there.
Right.
Like sun. Okay,
Man,
can't wait too
that's
long.
a crazy bridge there.
It's weird,
Beatles to Forebode.
but it's the same idea. Thinking about
Yeah.
the big picture of it. I was going to say another thing I thought was cool. We had a nice conversation one time on the phone, and TJ and I have had this conversation before. I'd love to see what you think, Rob, but I came to a point musically, my background is from Berklee College of Music, and before that, like real extreme like music lessons. I'm a music theory nerd.
Mm-hmm.
And I love everything about music on every level, emotionally and, down to the science of it. And I got into this like elitist mindset where I only wanted to hear the best guitar player in the world, the best bands in the world, the best drummer in the world, best singer with the biggest range.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to this show in Boston one time, and I saw this group of punks. It's a punk band at this house show. And the guy didn't even have 6 strings on his guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It was way out of tune. He tried tuning it up and just gave up. And then I was like, man, this is gonna suck. And that band played, and I had a tear in my eye. I was like,
Killed it.
this is unbelievable how emotional and how genuine and honest this music is. It hit me. They sucked, as proficiently,
Right.
they were trash.
It's
But they communicated something so genuine and so
Right.
real to me. It
Right.
hit me right in the chest. I was like,
I call that the
Life
Ace.
change.
I call that the Ace Frehley syndrome. Is Ace Frehley the best guitar player on the planet? Is he?
no.
No.
But he's got swagger
He is
and
so-
balls and feel
So
for
raw
days.
and so emotional.
And if you can make that come out of that
Yeah.
guitar through your fingers, then you're a badass guitar player.
Yeah, Dimebag Darrell's that guy. How many times have you heard people try to cover Pantera and you're just like, just don't.
Yeah, good luck.
Dime's got the touch that you just don't
Yeah.
have.
Even
And that's
from
what you were
Eagles,
seeing in that
Yeah.
guy is just if you've got the feel,
He-
and you've got the heart, then it'll show in the music.
I think
What
I've realized over the years is more recently is the genuine authenticity. Like,
Yes.
is what you're making, is it something you believe in and you really want to be making?
Right.
And that's something I really resonate with now.
Yeah.
And some bands you wouldn't think I would like, or bands you would think I would like.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, that's real and I love it and I believe it.
I've had friends that have played guitar that have been amazing talents, amazing technical guitar
Yeah.
players that couldn't write a song to save their life.
Yeah.
They couldn't put they couldn't mix up the ingredients and bake the cake, but man, they were a great guitar player.
Yeah.
And then I've had friends that like it didn't make any sense.
Right.
You're picking up this just piece of shit bass guitar, and just magic comes out, so, we're fine. It does that. And it fakes us out every time. Well, tell us, TJ, what is in the future? What's coming up for you guys?
Oh, man. I don't want to be the one to say that. I don't know, man. We're just like...
You don't have to look at us.
Man, we're just... I don't know. We're just kind of seeing how big we can make it at home, in Austin.
Right.
And around Texas. And if something happens. I don't know.
Well, is there any... So, what's the plan? You've got the EP out.
Yes.
So what's
new
what's
record
next
in
to that?
the pipeline?
Yeah, we do. We already have 5 songs written for a full-length record so
Okay.
far. We're
Now,
gonna
you played
re-record
one of those at the Tantalum show, didn't you?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played a new one at that show, and we played several of them live. Our newest one is gonna be our next.
Your opus.
It's our thing.
It's gonna be.
It's so cool. I'm so proud of it. Like we're
It'll be
really.
the next
It
single.
came together like that's how
Okay.
Metal Slug was. Like when we got together, we just started playing it, and it was like.
Yeah, I think
Nothing
right
else.
now we're just trying to get the EP into as many people's hands as
Mhm.
possible, especially
Right.
like people who like review it and stuff, like
Yeah.
on YouTube and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Thank you for mine, by the way.
Yeah,
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate
Very
it.
welcome.
Yeah.
I'm a merch whore, man.
Yes.
I was
Same.
stoked. I was like, man, I hope they have
I
some
could-
stuff.
Oh
Talk to
yeah,
you all
we
day
try to
about
scrape
t-shirts
up
and
what we
shit.
could find.
I love T-shirts.
He's got an
Hey,
incredible
when the
typo
poser
negative.
and another guy that's never even listened to that kind of music buys a shirt and a CD.
We signed it.
Then
I
you-
signed it like Ace Frehley on Mark's.
Oh, nice.
I made the card, and I put like a pentagram on it.
Yes. That's awesome.
But see, that's when you know you've made the connection.
Oh yeah.
But the first time I saw you there at the Ridgely Room, I just was like, man, they've got something. I didn't know what to expect.
well, I was playing in front of Scott Shelby, so it was like,
and that's
I can't screw up.
That's a tall order because
he's my favorite guy.
We wanted
I mean,
to be
he's
the
really-
loudest band there.
Well, the mission accomplished. In fact, I remember even with my earplugs in, I was ringing the next day, which
Yeah.
that's a sure sign. That
We get a
you're
lot
loud.
of sensory experience on stage that the speakers just pump so much air, and we're just like,
No.
like rumbling.
Yeah.
So what's the time frame on the new record?
Um,
Still in the writing
We're writing.
process? No, okay.
We're writing and hopefully planning to record hopefully by the end of the year.
Okay.
We do have some enormous shows coming up that we're really proud of and really excited about. And
Let's hear
this-
about the shows.
I mean, yeah, if you're in the Austin area, especially,
Now
we're
we're talking.
opening for frickin' Orange Goblin, The Skull, Mothership. Who else is
Damn.
on? There's another cool
That's
band.
in Austin?
Black
That's-
Cobra's on there.
So
It's
the
a killer
Skull-
bill, and we're opening that. Like, that's a fresh group of people who we're gonna just pummel.
That's awesome.
By the way,
That one's
our
gonna be
friend
big.
Henry Vasquez from Born Light Records is playing drums for the Skull on this tour.
No way!
yeah.
Oh, we'll see him. And
So-
the guitarist from Mountain of Smoke, well, the lap steel guy, not Kyle Shutt, who we just saw the new lineup.
yeah,
Um,
it's great.
The lap steel guy, whatever you call it, slide guitar guy,
Yeah.
he's playing guitar in the Skull
Oh,
for
wow.
this tour just as a pickup. So that's kind of
Oh,
cool. We were
that's,
just talking to him about that.
That's what's it? Isn't he in Blood of the Sun too?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I just met him
Anyway.
the other night.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be the
new
day
Skull-
before
the new
Labor
Skull
Day.
is crushing. By the way,
I can't wait.
Henry came running across the shop. You know, I'm looking through records and I'm thinking budget, and he hands me
Here's
this
another
record and he
$10.
goes, another $20.
Yeah,
I'm
another
like,
$20.
"Oh," and he goes, trust me. I said, okay. He says, if you don't love it, bring it back.
That's
He said, I'll
confident man.
He says, I'll give you your money back. And I said, okay. And I dropped the needle on that thing and there's no way I'm taking it back.
I haven't heard that.
If he ever has any suggestions, I
Did he
just
play on
recommend
it?
taking that.
No, he didn't play on the record,
Okay.
but he's
gonna
playing on
play
this
the
tour. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
honestly,
gotta get it
the
right.
fact that we're on that show is
It's crazy. It's such a big deal for us. Like
We've had-
this year, we've played with Mondo Generator, which is Nick Oliveri
Yeah.
from Queens of the Stone Age, and
Yeah.
Caius. That's such a big deal for me. No,
Right.
Yawning Man played on that. They're Desert Rock royalty.
Mario Lally.
We opened for
Okay.
Pentagram this
Yeah,
year already.
okay,
We opened
yeah,
for my
yeah.
favorite band from Atlanta. They're called Whores. Just Whores.
Okay.
And if you haven't checked them out, they're my favorite band.
That
We opened
rings
for
a
them in
bell for me.
Austin.
Okay.
And we got plenty of big ones. We're opening for Resin. They're from Chicago.
It's their first tour. We've been praying that they would come.
God,
to
they're
Austin.
so
And
good.
then
I
they
saw them
asked
in
us to come
Chicago.
play, so
blew me away.
That's
They have a
awesome.
sax player who also plays analog synth.
Is that
And-
is that a Texas thing or is it just an Austin thing?
That's
The
just
resin
going to be
show.
in Austin.
I gotcha.
The shows we're playing, the one we're doing with the Skull and Orange Goblins on September 1st. That's the day before Labor Day. And we're going to share the stage with Mr. Henry. That's going to be a good one. You got a place to crash if you ever
Road
need.
trip!
That one's going to be...
I got
September
Just
1st.
epic.
Let me look at
Yeah.
my calendar.
It's at Come and Take It Live, which they always treat us well.
Okay, I've not been to that venue. yet.
It's an excellent venue.
I
Good
missed
sound,
Telstar
good
there once.
lights.
I couldn't stay, but I've been to the parking lot.
Yeah. Oh, to deliver the beer.
To deliver
That's where
beer,
we
yeah.
played with the Mondo Generator show there, and also the one with Pentagram at Come and Take It as well.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
you ever been to the old emos that was in Austin, like
Yes.
the old one before they rebuilt it. Like
Was it downtown?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
like
Who's that?
So, yeah.
Inside outside venue.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
like Come and Take It Live is like the mini version of the old emos.
I got you.
So it's like
Okay.
really cool to play there every single time because it's just a badass stage.
I mean, I've seen
It's-
so many legendary bands there already, too.
Yeah.
They're doing the right thing over there.
And at Lost Well, too, they always treat us real well.
Yeah.
The Lost Well is my personal favorite spot in
Oh, yeah.
Austin.
Austin Terrorfest guys.
Yeah, we're opening for Resin there at Lost Well.
and
And Serial Hawk.
Serial Hawk.
Oh,
We need to go to Austin.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
We'll
opposed
take
to-
care of you. If you
Yeah.
ever need, I got an extra room.
September 1st.
Can we
Oh,
Uber
yeah.
to downtown because parking is a nightmare.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
we'll take care of you. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There
There's
you go.
never a parking issue.
I like this confidence.
Lost Well, no parking issues. Come and Take It, no parking issues.
Okay.
They got
Awesome.
full parking
Yeah.
lots.
Awesome.
It's
Awesome.
great.
I just remember
I do not like that.
driving
parking
for
situation.
War Beast and Turbid, and we would get to Austin, and everybody would just roll their eyes because we knew we were going to have to lug equipment and
Yeah.
merch at least 4 to 6 blocks.
Oh man, it's a
Yeah.
And they wouldn't even let you double park to just throw everything out on the curb and
yeah,
then take
get out
off.
of here.
They won't
That
let you do that.
sucks.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for that, real quick, that Turbid North. You guys dropped Turbid North a few times. They're one of my favorite bands. And I think that's
Speaking
so
of which,
cool that
I
you
just
did that.
talked to Chris.
Yeah.
Chris O'Toole, the bass player, who's now with Unearth. He's over
Yes.
overseas. They're doing
Yes.
a couple of huge fests
Yep.
over there.
I saw that.
And he said that Nick called him and said that he got to hear almost the final product. They're for their final coup de grace end of the road album, and it's gonna be a monster.
I'm
Chris
excited.
plays on it?
Yes,
Oh, okay, sweet.
it's Chris, Nick, and John O'Garrett.
They are so good.
Who's
well,
the same guys that played on the last record, and this time I think it's going to be more true to the heavier orogeny thing.
yeah.
A little less atmospheric, although there is going to the last song on the record is going to be. It's going to be like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner on Power Slave
Right.
Iron Maiden. So
Well, and it wasn't such a musical comparison in that, man, you guys sound like Turbid
Right,
North.
yeah.
It was the way that you kind of flowed in and out of things.
I just
and
appreciate that,
And mixed
yeah.
a whole bunch of things
There's
together.
a lot of shit
Yeah.
going on.
And it
And
just
Turbid North
worked.
is an eclectic band
It
where
worked,
they have
yeah.
a lot of different. They've gone through genre changes, and I've loved every step of it for as
Yeah.
long as I've been following them.
Yeah, well, I dug I'm not the biggest death metal vocal guy,
Right.
but I found your vocals very accessible to somebody like me
Cool.
that's not super into death metal and that kind of thing. But man,
I try to find like
I dig it a
the
lot.
perfect middle ground between death metal and black metal. And just
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
there.
it goes the high
Yeah.
and low.
Yeah,
vocals.
one the guitar playing,
Thank you, sir.
dude.
well, and
Here's a nice,
let's not
awesome
forget your
melodic
two brothers
solo
on the
in the middle
bottom
of this
end with
storm,
the
you know?
bass and the
It was
drums.
great.
And I hone in on the drummer typically all
Yeah.
the time, just because I'm trying to learn every time I go to a show. You know, I'm still in a process of learning because
Everybody is always.
jazz and funk fusion stuff just doesn't. I mean, my friend Bobby Rock would tell you should have a warehouse of sound that you can draw from, even if it's timbali stuff or whatever.
Right.
But I usually hone in on. But those dudes are solid, man. Zach is solid, and
He's
and
great.
Gigi of Doom is
Yeah.
really, really heavy. In fact,
Yeah.
I like the almost. It's like a sludge version of Lemmy. It's a very rhythmic second guitar almost.
Yeah.
He has a lot of
Yeah.
distortion and overdrive.
Man, it
bars
really
and all that.
sounds killer. It really fills in those gaps when you go into your leads and so forth. That you're not losing momentum with
Yeah.
missing the
Whoever
guitar.
recorded it did a great job.
Yeah.
We did.
It was a
really
it was-
interesting
it was an
process. This is
interesting
kind of
process.
cool.
So I have a buddy named Matt that I knew a long time ago when I was in the metalcore bands and stuff, and he had a metalcore band as just like a a melodic hardcore band, just a lot of
Now he plays in a
harmonies and
Motown
stuff.
band.
Yeah, and now
That's
he's in a
cool.
Motown
Yeah.
band. But I had talked to him whenever Jack and Ryan were still in the band, and he was saying like, "Oh yeah, I got a studio. You should come through. It'll be a lot cheaper than anywhere else." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I still looked, for other things out there to see if there was.
Mr. Hollywood with his phone over here.
What's
Good
going
lord.
on? But yeah, we ended up using him, and we show up,
It's the
and
dudes from Caius.
I hope so.
we show up, and he's recording out of a fucking U-Haul. Like he built.
Yeah, it was
He
amazing.
built a vocal booth and his entire studio, like, in this one little U-Haul storage unit, and then down the hall he had like one of those 20 by 20 units that he split in half. One was the drum room and the other was a guitar room. And
It's
then
all
he had,
isolated
yeah,
like,
no.
in a public U-Haul
and he
storage.
had the camera set up so you could see in there and everything. And
Wow.
It was amazing.
We were just like, what
They had a
the hell?
control room
Crazy.
built in.
But the crazy part for me personally was that the room that he actually recorded in was this U-Haul literally right across from the one that I used to practice in my old bands 10 years ago. So
Huh.
it was like,
Full
it
circle.
tripped me out. Plus we started recording on December 8th, which is
the anniversary of Dimebag.
Yeah, Dimebag's
Oh,
death.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
So,
it was like a nostalgia trip the whole time.
it was
recording
important that we played respectfully and went
Sure,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Much respect for
Yeah.
that
Then
guy.
we sent it off
Number
to Alec Rodriguez in Boston, who Guillermo knows, and he's done mixing for like Forn. He does stuff for Chelsea Wolf too. I don't know the extent of all that. I think he does like
Front of
tech work
house, I
for
think,
front of
too.
house or something. But
Mhm.
when he mixed it, that's when it just fucking.
It's huge.
It got
Yeah.
He knew how to mix for the genre.
We
Right.
we each took like two like we recorded each part twice.
Mhm.
So he really figured out how to take both of the parts we recorded and put them together and just destroy it.
Mm.
So.
And then Kevin Butler mastered it. He's the guy in Austin. He just knocks it out, and he's a good friend. So
Awesome.
he took care of us, and we gave him a reference track for the new Conan record. We were trying to get it, mastered in that sort of sonic area,
Mhm.
and he nailed it.
That's cool.
So we're really happy with the way that all came about. But it was a weird process from going from
Yeah.
the U-Haul to Boston mixing, and then Kevin doing this Conan mastering to this. It was just a strange.
Yeah, and that's
Killer.
That's
Combination
one
of
of the
things that
big
worked out.
compliments that I keep hearing about it is like, damn, y'all must have gone somewhere to record that. It must have been expensive or something. We're like,
Some friend hookups.
man, it was
too.
like
It was good.
some friend hookups, and then like, part of it was expensive as shit, and then it was a friend hookup again, and it
Right.
just all
Yeah.
came together.
Right.
So we got lucky. It probably won't happen next time, but next time we'll.
We're gonna keep some of our family together on this and try to make it sound.
Oh,
Well,
man.
but any of those,
That sounds good.
any of those guys will tell you that if you can't play it and it doesn't come out of the amp sounding right, because
Oh, yeah,
when you
yeah.
guys played it when I first saw you, and even when I saw you at that,
Mhm.
what was that place? That
A magical mystery of a
Are you
building.
talking about in Houston?
Yeah.
Houston,
Oh.
dude,
you even
that
sounded
was-
killer then, and so it's got to be just your settings,
Yeah.
the equipment, the way you tune.
It's the Ace Frehley syndrome.
Ace Frehley.
I guess
Ah,
because
By the way, we're all going to be in Houston at
See
the
the-
Foam Henge to see Ace Frehley, High on Fire, Power Trip, except Pat Travers, man. All these bands in
That's-
November.
wow.
That is crazy lineup.
That is crazy.
Had a great brewery too.
At Carbach too. That's what we have in the practice room is like Love Street and
Yeah.
Hopadillo or
They
whatever.
should sponsor us.
Carbach, listen up. We
Just
want to play
saying.
Foam Henge 2020.
yeah,
Sweet.
why not? It's just such a broad.
Psycho Las Vegas if you're listening to.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, there's another one. That's a great. That's a great
Oh,
fest.
yeah.
Those are like the biggest bucket list.
But you were asking earlier about what's the next steps for us, and that's like what we want to do is be on those big shows.
Yeah.
Right.
We're
Simultaneously putting out a full-length record. But
Right.
like, personally for me, like a big goal of mine would be to play outside of Texas for the first time.
Right.
I've never done that before. I had never played in Dallas-Fort Worth area when we came up here the first time, in any band I'd been in. The only city outside of Austin I'd ever played was San Antonio. So playing in Houston as much as we have in Fort Worth was cool as shit. I want to go like Louisiana and New Orleans. And
Yeah.
Right.
That would,
do all that.
That's where a lot of our roots, I think, come from musically too.
Sure.
It's like we're all such big fans of those great bands that came out of New Orleans.
Oh my God.
We were just jamming some Exhorder on the way
I
up
was
here.
just gonna say, please tell me
Come
your
on.
Exhorder. I don't
Of
have the
course.
record yet.
We were listening
I don't
to
even know if
the
it's
new
out
one is
yet,
a
but-
new one rips. Have you heard the demo?
I've heard the song.
I have only heard what I've seen live because I saw Exhorder
Okay.
with Marzi, the new lineup at Terrorfest last year. And all
I've
that
seen
stuff.
the video they're promoting, and it's just like,
Yeah.
if I had
Well,
hair,
we're going to
it'd be
the
blowing
show.
off.
We're going to see Heaviest Texas tonight, and they have Kyle from Exhorder on vocals. And
What?
Marzi.
Kyle Thomas?
Yep.
What the heck?
And they got
Yes!
the bass player tonight is also, I guess their bass player couldn't do the tour, and they're going to have the dude from Dead Horse.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
So there's just a cool lineup of like legendary Texas guys tonight. But
Man, that's
yeah,
cool.
Kyle from Exhorder is vocalist for Heaviest Texas.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Too cool.
Man.
And we were just listening to that Into the Void cover.
Yeah, the one you threw on
Oh.
the cover on that cover album.
Man, that
He's got
cover is
what do you
sick.
call it? Take cover.
Take cover,
He
yeah.
made a great
Yeah.
mix of great bands covering other great bands.
Right.
And then we had a good time listening to that on the way up.
That's very cool. Well, awesome. We are going to wrap this thing up.
Cool.
For the Metal Roundtable, I'm Metal Rob, and always with me is the great,
Carcass John.
and we are welcoming, who so rudely interrupted us.
I still want to know where that bathroom
Yeah.
is.
Where's the bathroom?
Introduce
How
yourselves
do we
and
get out
take
of this
us out.
museum?
This is TJ, I'm Eddie, and we're in Forebode.
Forebode.
Forebode, Austin, Texas, soon to be of the world.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we
check
got-
these guys. Oh,
Yeah.
tell everybody where they can check you out.
Oh,
Online.
well,
Whatnot.
Facebook is Forebode TX. We're not on MySpace, unfortunately. A lot of people ask us about that, or AOL Instant Messenger. But, Instagram's Forebode TX also, and then the Bandcamp is forebodetx.bandcamp.com. But we got our EP on like all the major streaming platforms too.
Okay.
So Spotify, Apple Music. I don't know. If
CDs and
So
tapes
no
are both on
excuse.
Bandcamp, too.
No excuse.
No
Follow
excuse.
these guys. Like these guys.
I heard him. I listened to him, and I immediately went home and drew something up. I just had to draw something. It was that inspiring.
So cool.
And
too.
and
Can't
I
wait
saw him
for
a second time, and I
He's
came
the
up with
carcass.
even another crazy design. So
Well, that's gonna be on the
Whether-
shirt here. So.
I was gonna say whether it gets used or not is immaterial because
Yeah, this is what we're working on.
there you
right now.
go, perfect.
Exclusive.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Metal
yeah. I
Roundtable.
saw that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
anyway, music should
Did
inspire.
you see that?
Music should be your therapy.
Yeah.
To the point of the whole discussion here, and I know for a fact that without music, that my life gets pretty sad sometimes. I've tried to
Just for a lot of people.
fast from music and trying to do those things or change, not listen to any certain type of genre except for one, and it's debilitating.
It's good
I
for
feel
you.
exactly
You
the
should
same way.
Mhm.
My boss at work told me I need to take my headphones out, so I grew my hair out so I can hide them.
Well,
Not-
this
not-
goes all the way back to kindergarten because when somebody asks me the ABCs, I still sing A B C D. I still sing them.
Right.
I,
That's what we learned.
and
I can tell you how that works in your brain later if you want to talk about
there you go. Here's the guy that
There's a
can
scientific
verify
reason
it.
for that.
So music is extremely important.
Yeah.
We appreciate you
Thank you
stopping
so much.
by.
Yes, very much.
It's going to be, in fact, that little announcement about Kyle Thomas, that's even more exciting tonight. I was excited to see Iron Jaw with Todd Pack.
Yeah, the new
Singing,
lineup, new singer.
Powerhouse. He's a
Like
powerhouse
a governor
drummer
on guitar.
and a good guy. We're going to see how he can belt it out. And so,
Got Life of Scars tonight too.
Life
We
of
got
Scars. Hey, Wayne Abney.
Oh,
Hammer
oh
Witch.
boy.
Are you going to play any Hammer Witch tunes? Is that
Better.
what they always ask him that? You better.
Yeah, you better.
Are
play
we
better.
gonna play with Hammer Witch?
Yeah, I want to be a part of that. I heard. I heard.
Ooh.
Some,
You heard it.
I heard some stuff coming.
Rumor
That's on
has
you,
it.
Hammer Witch.
Rumor has it.
Yeah, it's on you, Hammer Witch.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Cool. Well, thank you guys again for stopping by. And I'm sure you used a word that I'll have to go research later. And until next time, now you know what
What
we're about to do,
funeral
right?
bar? I know.
You know what we're about
Right.
to do. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Until next time.
metal will prevail.
And this is where we make fun of our faces and
Cue the carcass art.
carcass art. Yeah. Later.
That was fun.
Bye.